Dear Africa. That's the oil. Hey, welcome to Manifest Africa. It is about 2 in the afternoon. I called the last owner of the Airbnb that I stayed in because he had a mechanic come to his house while I was there to ask him to fix the rental car for me. I thought that they were just going to have to put the plastic piece back up, but actually there's a big hole in the oil pan. So they're going to have to repair the hole in the oil pan as well as put the plastic piece back up. He said he could repair it easily. It's gonna cost me about altogether about $4,200, which is about 42 US dollars. He came to my other Airbnb, but he said we had to come over here to the shop, which is actually like a gas station, for him to repair the hole. So the labor is about $30,000, and then the rest is the parts, the oil, and then he said he needed to put a little gas or something, I don't know. But not bad. It's not a bad cost to fix it at all. This truck is just trying to squeeze right here by us. I'm gonna stay here with them. I got some advice from another lady from the US. I guess like until you find a trusted mechanic, you should always stay with your car because they might take some parts off of it, I heard. So this is a rental car, and renting cars here is different. Any maintenance or anything that goes wrong, you have to fix it. So I don't want them taking nothing off of this rental car. It's already a POS, as my son calls it, a piece of shit. So I don't want to take nothing off of it. So they took all the oil off. They took all the oil out. Now I guess he's gonna pour it in another container where they can pour it back in. It's about to rain. I'm looking a mess. I need to go get my hair braided. I'm too busy working every day, doing something to keep up with my hair. Actually, if there was a shop close, then I would. And he just squeezed his truck right there. If there was a shop, I would walk over there and get my hair braided, just two to the back. I'm looking a fool over here. I tell you. So at least my rental's getting fixed. Today's Monday. Nobody actually is working at the office today because the canal people didn't show up for the internet. So I told them that internet is so slow, I may as well be paying them for nothing. So I told them nobody else is working until canal is fixed. So canal called and they claim they're gonna come out today. So it's raining. I don't think they're gonna come today, but you never know. The Indian couple that I stay with, the Airbnb, they own a restaurant called Fat Mama's, and they've been here quite a while. They told me that the culture here, usually after about 4 or 5 o'clock, they not working. And she said they definitely don't really want to work on the weekends. So it is, I think it's like 2 now. So I don't think canal, even when the guy came for me to pay the installation fee, it was about 3 or 4, and he was like, it's too late to do anything. So I believe what she says. I just will not be going on no dirt roads or nothing like that anymore at night. I mean, the streets are okay because the streets are paved and smooth, but a lot of times, like to go into the neighborhoods, to the houses, You have to go on to the dirt roads that aren't paved yet. And I will not be doing that again. Believe me, it's dangerous. So, like I said, just waiting for canal. Everything here, everybody says the projects are like slow motion. I did a short video of the plumbing project at the Airbnb that the Indians have to get done. So this is what happens when you need pipe repair. You have to literally tear out the bricks. So I would suggest when you're building that it need to be some type of wood enclosure access as much as possible for the piping. It has to be a better way. I mean, they throw up these houses quickly and they're strong, you know, with the bricks and the blocks. However, when you think about it, if something goes wrong with the wiring or with the plumbing, that is like a serious tear out. I mean, you got to use the pick and the axe to, you know, find the plumbing. I mean, I think that that's just too much. So I would be looking into designing my residence and whatever I build to where I do not have that problem. I don't know if you have to encase it in like a wood box through the house or what, but that's just not feasible. I guess they're used to it here because they build everything with cement, but it's just not feasible to have to, it's not good to have to do that at all. So that is an issue. So I will be getting my renderings, asking the engineer to figure out a way around that in this country. So thank you for checking in with Manifest Africa. Happy birthday to my auntie Love. They're all going to Montego Bay in Jamaica. I wish I was there. You know, as if you watch the backstory, you already know why I'm not going. I could be cordial. I just don't want to change the energy of her birthday party with my presence because, you know, some of my family, they just can't stand to see me. They can't stand to see me. They can't stand to see me shine. So I don't want to change the energy of her party. But happy birthday, Auntie. I love you and I wish I was there. Oh, you hit it right here? You hit it.
Yeah.
That was a hard bump to bend this. Yeah. That was a hard bump. Oh. So it bent the whole damn pan. So this shop, this gas station right here, I wish I knew where I was. Lake Petroleum, I guess maybe it's called. I'm gonna drop a pin. It's across from Hygiene Motors. If you can see that tall building over there. And then there's the university. So where it is, it's across the street from University of Tourism, Technology, and Business. So it's a gas station called Lake Petroleum. And I was just telling a guy that I really appreciate him charging me the correct price, because just a few steps from here to where you buy the parts, the guy was trying to overcharge me. So they needed some silicone, and because I've had so many hookies in life, this shop is good. I already know kind of like how much stuff costs. So I know silicone, a little small thing, is not $4. So the guy was trying to tell me give him $4,000 to purchase the silicone. So I was like, no. So I'll just go and take you to the store to buy it. And the lady was like, I said, where's the store at? And the lady was like, oh, it's just right here. So I walked over there, told him I need silicone, and it was $2,000. And, you know, a lot of people would think that, oh, it's just $2 or it's just $1, even if it's just 50 cents, you know, that shit adds up. You know, when you're doing transactions, you know, 2 to 5 transactions per day, and you're overpaying, let's just say, you know, $2 to $5 every transaction per day, you know, that shit adds up. And then you multiply that by the month, and it just really adds up, you know. So you cannot keep allowing them to get you out of $1 or 50 cents, even a quarter for that matter, because then they treat everybody that way, and it just adds up. You know, everybody can't, even whether you can afford it or not, it's just not right. You know, it's not right. And I went in there after he charged me the correct price, and I let him know, like, I really appreciate you not doubling or tripling the cost, because, you know, as a Black American, you know, a lot of us are working class, maybe even upper working class, and, you know, like, literally we are not rich.
You know, you're not going to do it.
So now they're saying that the reason they said double was because I need 2, which, as you can see how thick he's putting it on, I don't need 2. He's putting it on as thick as he can, trying to run it out, I guess. He can't even spread it because he's putting it on so thick. So there's no way that I need 2.
What is this?
So this is why you have to kind of watch them working. And then maybe I'm incorrect. You know what I'm saying? But that looks like more than enough silicone to seal it to me once you put the screws on. So I'm not buying another one. So they're telling me that this is not enough silicone. It's squeezed out and spreading around. Yeah, so the issue is they will nickel and dime you to death. You know, so like I said, you know, if you do 3 transactions a day and you're overcharged $2 to $5, you know, you're looking at $6 to $15 per day. And that's just for small transactions. That's not even including going to shop around, you know. And then you multiply that by 30 days, and you just can't keep on sustaining that. You know, it's not, you know, I had to tell one of my employees, you know, that quit because he wanted more money. You know, they count in your pockets, they see what you spend on business, you know, and they think that so you owe them more, when that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? You're young, you're starting out, you're doing an entry-level job, you know what I mean? And you get paid accordingly. until you can find another job that pays you more money, and then you quit that job and you go on to the next job that pays you more money when you have more experience. But I'm telling you, they will nickel and dime you to death if you let them. And they I don't know who's dealing with them, where they do that to, but I guarantee you it's not the Chinese. I guarantee you it's not the Chinese or the Koreans. I guarantee you. So I don't know if it's, where they're getting it from, but I will say it's not as bad in Rwanda that it is in the rest of the African countries. Not as bad as all, but to some older people here, they get tired. Sometimes you just get tired of dealing with it, and sometimes you do kind of think to yourself, oh, it's just $2, it's just $5, but it does a disservice, and then it builds a culture of everybody doing that, because then I'm sure they go and brag to their friends, I got an extra 10,000, off of this American or off of this foreigner, and then it builds a culture of it, so, but everybody's not like that, that's why I told the guy in the store, I appreciate you being honest, so then they try to tell me, I guess they saw me making a video, so then they try to tell me, oh, we need to, so you see how thick, they put it on, trying to make that I need to, and whether it's $2 US or not, I had to tell my ex-employee, it's not my fault. I can't change the currency and the rate of pay in this country. That is not my responsibility. I'm going to pay you accordingly, for an entry-level job, that you're doing. And, he's trying to tell me, and I might even post his comments or chat. He was trying to tell me, well, what you're paying is like begging, because I can't even make my rent. I can't even buy anything to eat. And I have to tell them there's millions of people in the United States that are begging for a livable wage, that don't get a livable wage. They only want $15 an hour. In the United States, you can't live off of $15 an hour. You can't pay rent. You can't get a decent place to live, pay your utilities, pay your car insurance, pay your internet, pay your cell phone bill, have health insurance. You know what I'm saying? So really what you're talking about, you can really miss me with that, because it's not that I'm doing you wrong. This is the way that it is in the world. I'm not here to change, how the world is. I'm here to do business. I'm here to do the best that I can. I'm here to pay fair wages according to what the wages are, in this country. I'm not going to be apologetic or feel sorry for you just because in my country, our money is worth more than your money. So you're sitting around thinking that we're rich and you want to try to get over on me. Why would I feel sorry for somebody that's trying to get over on me? You know what I'm saying? That's just like, I don't know anybody in the U.S. that does that. You know what I'm saying? People come, foreigners come, the prices are marked, and you know what it is. It's not, and it's nothing wrong with the culture of negotiating and everything like that. However, when you're trying to charge someone double, triple, quadruple just because they're a foreigner, that is discrimination. And discrimination is wrong in any country according to my beliefs. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to discriminate against anyone, and I don't want anyone to discriminate against me. I had to tell him, there's been times in my life where I went over to very well-off people, attorneys and doctors, people with money, business owners. I cleaned their toilets, I cleaned their houses. I did a damn good job. I took what I agreed to make, and I did a good job, and then I took my tail home. You know what I'm saying? I didn't sit up there and look at what all they got and then say to myself, I'm going to start begging them and telling them, well, if I come back again, you need to pay me way more just because of what you've accomplished in life. No, that's not the way that it goes. I'm not going to get treated that way. And, unfortunately, when I have good people that work for me, if they get to begging and dry begging and decide that what we initially agreed upon that's no longer good enough for them, I tell them, hey, I'll let you go and I wish you luck. I wish you luck on your next job, and I hope that they pay you more, or I hope that you get an education and you get a more professional job, where you can make more. Tear your ass. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll go on to the next person. And so what I've learned is you do kind of have to overstaff just a little bit, because until you find your correct staff, you are going to have those people that are just going to leave. And the sad thing about it is, when they leave, they're not even leaving for another job. And so that's what I was telling my ex-employee. You're going to end up one of these Africans begging on the streets. You know what I'm saying? Because you think that you can get more money begging than you can for working. He wasted the opportunity. I sent him to get his driver's license. I sent him to an academy to learn more skills. I get here that the owner of the academy told me out of the 3 months of school, he maybe attended 2 weeks. And then he's sitting up telling me how much I paid for him to have extra training. Okay, I'm investing in you in something that you can have and use for the rest of your life, and you're complaining about it? I'm giving you something in training that you could go and get other higher paying jobs with after you properly learn how to do, the training and get some work experience as doing it. I paid for you to go to driver's school. You're almost 30 years old. You didn't know how to drive, never thought in your life, that you would be able to go to driver's school and get your driver's license. He didn't even have the tenacity to pass the test and take the test on time. I had one guy that did and one that didn't. And then you're sitting up asking me for more money for pay when you haven't accomplished nothing, none of the benefits that I provided for you to work for my company. As well as I was still sending them money as a courtesy, when I was not able to come back on time. So he's going to tell me, oh, I waited for you. I told him over and over again, don't wait on me. Do not keep an entry-level job when you have other opportunities to make more. Do not put your schooling off or your internships off in order to work for me. I understand. I have a son in college, just like the other employee. He's got a 2-month internship. Okay, I'll let him go for 2 months and I'll welcome him back when he comes back, if he doesn't get a better paying job. But a lot of these people, just to quit and you don't even have another job or another source of income, like I've said before, that's how I know these people aren't poor. They're not poor. Don't let them fool you. They're not poor. That's just what it is. Their culture, and it might not be the same as what's in the U.S., but when you put it in perspective, it's all the same. And I try to explain to them over and over and over again. It's all the same. Depending on your job, depending on your education, it's pretty much all the same anywhere you go in the world. You have the rich, you have the poor. Some countries might not have a bigger middle class, but they do have a small middle class. You know what I'm saying? So please, I'm just asking all of the Black Americans that come over here, even the white Americans, because the Chinese and the Koreans, they got it down pat. They don't play. And sometimes they don't even pay them and they treat them like shit. You know what I'm saying? So quit letting them nickel and dime you. I don't care if it's 50 cents. Quit overpaying. Just stop it. If they do it, find someone else, because there are always good and honest people everywhere you go, and there's always scammers everywhere you go in every country. Quit doing it. She came onto the country shores as if she were a 100-year storm. Most would heed the warning in time, take shelter before even catching the enticing smell of the beautiful coming rain. A few godlike men, yet untamed by Mother Nature, would embrace the strong, somehow comforting change of winds. Allow themselves to take up the treasures revealed, left behind her impassioned path. Knowing her omnipresence is in the same nature of themselves, which called unto the storm.